All right, let's look to the Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball. Is the Alpine the more powerful amp? Most likely. So first up, we'll talk about the Alpine 3545. Back in 1988-89, it retailed for $1,400. It's approximately 18 pounds, and it had 3 lights here on the top to give us an idea of what's going on. You can see here we have 3 30-amp fuses. We also have dual inputs for battery and ground, which is nice that you can use the terminal strips. And on the opposite end, we have the speaker connections. We also have a few switches for mono, stereo, input sensitivity, and we have the RCA jacks. The Alpine had the benefit here with wiring. You can see we have dual 4-gauge inputs here. Stinger Pro OFC wire helped out getting this amp all the current needed for the amp dyno test. Alright, so next up, here's the Precision Power 2350 DM. This retailed for $1,600 back in 1989 and weighed about 22 pounds. Here's the input side of the amp. You can see we had a button for mono bridge, we had left and right, gain, and also a preamp jack. On the other side, we have 6-gauge power leads, 12-gauge inserts for speakers. Here's both the amps side by side, kind of for size comparison. You can see the PPI is beautiful with the artwork by Carolyn Hall Young. The Alpine is just kind of a plain black amplifier. And here's the internals of the Alpine 3545. You can see packs a lot of components here into a small space. Has dual fans to keep everything nice and cool. So in order to get to the internals of the PPI, you have to take off the end panel here where the RCA jacks are. Then you have to take off 6 screws on the bottom of the amp, slide the bottom plate out. Then you have to take off the shroud. This is a pain in the butt. There are 6 screws, they're very hard to get off. Once you get that off, you have to take off the clamps that clamp down the FETs. Then you can finally take the bottom cover off and you can see the fan. Then you can see the beautiful internals of this amplifier. I can tell you guys, it took me like 30 minutes to get this bottom panel off, so I surely hope you appreciate this gut shot here of this PPI 2350 DM. Alright, Big D, that's enough talking about these amps. Let's try them out on the dyno and see how they do. Alright guys, here we have the Dyno Drag Alpine 3545 versus PPI 2350 DM. Let's try these bad boys out and see how they do on the dyno. Alright, first up we'll do a certified run at 8 ohms. Both of the amps are bridged. The Alpine is rated to do 500 watts, it's 250 by 2. The PPI is 350 by 2, so it's rated to do 700 watts. So let's check it out. 1 kilohertz tone. Alpine is on the left, PPI is on the right. Alright, looks like we got Alpine 573, PPI 448, 13.3 volts. Alright, here we're going to try the 4 ohm mono test for the Alpine 3545 and the PPI 2350 DM. Both of these amps are rated to do 700 watts at 4 ohms. So let's see what we can get. Dyno Drag time. Channel 1 Alpine, Channel 2 PPI. Oh, looks like PPI 813 to 630. 13.7, 13.5 volts. PPI is a winner. 4 ohms mono. Did its rated power. Alright, let's see how these amps do dynamically. At 4 ohms, Alpine channel 1, PPI channel 2. According to the manual, the Alpine actually has a 1000 watt dynamic rating. PPI doesn't really show anything dynamically. You can see here, the Alpine killed it dynamically, 1294 watts to the PPI's 829. So there is some reserve power built into this Alpine. So that's pretty impressive. Wish it did a little bit better certified, but wow. All right, guys, there you have the dyno drag between the Alpine 3545 and the PPI 2350DM. As you can tell, the Alpine won 2 of the 3 tests, so we'll have to give the Alpine the win. PPI was pretty consistent though, did a great job. Tried both of the amps out on some subwoofers, and they both performed extremely well. Couldn't even really tell the difference between them. So they're both great amps, but for this dyno drag, Alpine for the win. This is Big D Wiz, oldschoolstereo.com. Until next time, I'm out of here. Thanks to Stinger Electronics and Amp Global for providing the accessories that power the OSS Labs. Be sure to check the video description for links to their social media pages.